Hello everyone, I'm Sarah of Rich Textures Crochet and welcome. Today we're going to learn how to crochet the lovely Carolina washcloth. This is an easy washcloth to work that features some fun texture throughout. This is your front side and your back side. It's just very pretty to work, not too thick, but it's also not too thin at all. And then again has these fun strips of texture. Today for the tutorial you're going to need some cotton yarn. I'll be working with the Pima Cotton by Lion Brand. This is a medium weight yarn and there's about 186 yards per ball. You're only going to need about 120 yards of a worsted weight cotton for this washcloth. You will also want a 5mm or an H8 crochet hook. This is a birchwood crochet hook by Rowan Yarns, and there are links to these items in the description of this video. Also in the description you'll find a direct link to the free written instructions which are on richtexturescrochet.com. So thank you so much for joining me. While you're here, I invite you to subscribe, take a look around. Feel free to check out that dishcloth and scrubby playlist. There are many other crochet washcloths, crochet dishcloths, and scrubby patterns if you are looking for more. Other than that, this channel is updated every single week with free crochet patterns and stitch tutorials, so don't forget to follow along. Now our Carolina washcloth today is worked in rows, so we're going to start by making a slip knot and then by working a foundation chain. Your foundation chain today will need to be an even number of stitches if you're looking to change the size. Today I'm going to chain 30 chains, which will give me a washcloth that is approximately 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. If you'd like to change the size, just chain any even number. Once you have 30 chains worked, you're going to begin row 1 by working a single crochet into the second chain from your hook. Your chain 1, the starting chain 1, does not count as a stitch here, nor does it throughout. So single crochet into that second chain from your hook, and then single crochet into each chain all the way across. At the end of row 1, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 2, we're going to work the first of our textured rows. So what we're going to do for row 2 is work a single crochet into our first stitch. Remember, your chain 1 does not count as a stitch. You're then going to work a puff stitch into your next stitch. To work the puff stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over, and draw up a loop. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop. Do that one more time, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop, yarn over and draw through all 7 loops on your hook. That is your puff stitch. You're then going to single crochet into your next stitch. We're now going to repeat that all the way across. Puff stitch into your next stitch, and single crochet into your next. Puff stitch into your next stitch, and single crochet into your next. Repeat this all the way across. Once you come all the way across, you're finishing off with a single crochet into that final stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 2, we're going to work what I call a moon stitch all the way across. To work your moon stitch, you're going to yarn over twice, insert your hook into that first stitch. Remember that your chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Yarn over and drop a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and draw through all 4 loops on your hook. You're going to repeat that all the way across. Yarn over twice, insert your hook into the top of the next puff stitch, yarn over and draw up a loop. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Repeat this all the way across. Now when I'm working this stitch, sometimes it is difficult to get your hook through that 3rd and the 4th loop. So I pull through the first 2 loops, then kind of hold the 3rd loop with my thumb and my middle finger and pull through. Just makes it a little bit easier if you kind of pull that loop forward as you're bringing your hook through. At the end of row 3, you've worked those moon stitches all the way across. You're going to chain 1 and turn your work. For row 4, we're simply going to work a single crochet into that first stitch and then single crochet into each stitch all the way across. At the end of row 4, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 5, we're going to work some more of those moon stitches. So work your moon stitch in the first stitch and then into each stitch all the way across. At the end of row 5, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for row 6, we're essentially going to repeat that row 2, single crochet into your first stitch and puff stitch into your next stitch. Single crochet into your next stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way around, all the way across, puff stitch into your next stitch and single crochet into your next, all the way across. At the end of your row 6, you're going to finish off with a single crochet into that final stitch, chain 1 and turn your work. Now for rows 7 through to 22, you're going to repeat your rows 3, so beginning with that first moon stitch row, through to 6 4 more times. So repeat rows 3, 4, 5, and 6 for a total of 4 more times. That will bring you to the end of row 22, and you can meet me back here. At the end of row 22, this is what your work looks like from the beginning. We're going to work one more row for row 23. So chain 1, turn your work. You're then going to work one single crochet into each stitch all the way across. At the end of row 23, your washcloth is complete, except to add a simple edging all the way around. For this washcloth, I simply worked a single crochet edging. So chain 1, and with your right side facing, you're going to work one single crochet just into your corner stitch. Then turn your work so you're working along this first rough side, and you're going to work 29 single crochet stitches evenly all the way across this rough edge. Now as I'm working, I'm simply inserting my hook where it feels comfortable. You'll just want to have them fairly even all the way down the line. If it helps, you can place a stitch marker. Place half your stitches on one side of that marker, half your stitches on the other side, but you'll want 29. If you need to change the number of stitches that you're working across, you can do so. Just simply make sure that you make note of it, because you'll want to work the same number of stitches across on the other side. Once you come all the way across, you should work your final 29th stitch in that final corner. You're going to work one more single crochet into your corner for your corner stitch. Then turn your work so that you're working along the bottom, and you're going to work one single crochet into each stitch all the way across the top. So 29 single crochet stitches all the way across the top. You will have 29 stitches along each side, and then one stitch in each corner stitch. So you're going to work your single crochets in each stitch all the way across the bottom, then one in your corner. Work 29 single crochet stitches along the opposite side, one in the corner, 29 along the top, and then join with a slip stitch into the top of your first stitch. Once you come all the way across, you're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of that first stitch. You can then fasten off. Go ahead and weave in any ends, and that's all there is to working your Carolina washcloth. So thank you so much for joining me, and once again I invite you to subscribe. Take a look around. If you happen to make the Carolina washcloth and share it on social media, be sure to tag Rich Textures Crochet. I always love to come by and admire your work. Until next time, happy crocheting. Bye.